Thank you for joining us for another adventure with Storytime with Sarah Ann, Stories for Children. Please be sure to thumbs up my video and don't forget to click the subscribe button as it's the best way to support my channel. Do we have our listeners ready? Let's go! Today we're going to be reading Little Miss Bossy and the Magic Word. If you have a copy, go and grab it and we can read along together. Let's go! Little Miss Bossy and the Magic Word. Little Miss Bossy is bossy. Bossier than the bossiest person you know. She's also very rude. Nearly as rude as Mr. Uppity, which is very rude indeed. She never says please, and she never says thank you. Like the time she met Mr. Sneeze. A tissue! Sneezed Mr. Sneeze. Stop sneezing, ordered Miss Bossy. I can't. A tissue! Help it, replied Mr. Sneeze. Nonsense, said Miss Bossy. Like the time she met little Miss Chatterbox. Good morning, said Miss Chatterbox. Lovely day, isn't it? Just the right weather for a walk. Talking about the weather. Oh, be quiet, ordered Miss Bossy. And like the time she tripped over Mr. Small. You're too small, exclaimed Miss Bossy. Grow up. I can't, said Mr. Small. Then get out of my way in the future, ordered Miss Bossy. Poor Mr. Sneeze. Poor little Miss Chatterbox. And poor Mr. Small. It was Mr. Small who decided that something had to be done. He went to see little Miss Magic, and once he explained the problem, she agreed to teach Miss Bossy a lesson. And I think I know just how to do it, she replied. The next day, little Miss Bossy bumped into Mr. Greedy. You're too big, she cried. Lose some weight. At the same time, little Miss Magic, who had followed Miss Bossy, muttered a very magic word. And you know what happened? Of course you don't. But you do now. Ah, who are you calling big? Laughed Mr. Greedy. You ought to take a look at yourself. Little Miss Bossy was lost for words. And as soon as Mr. Greedy had gone, Miss Magic muttered some magic words, and Miss Bossy returned to normal. Further down the lane, Miss Bossy passed Mr. Cheerful's gate. He was painting stripes on his house to cheer it up. That looks ridiculous, snapped Miss Bossy. Paint over those stripes. Little Miss Magic whispered the very magic word again. Mr. Cheerful started to chuckle. You ought to look at yourself, he laughed. Miss Bossy did. She was covered in stripes. In her hiding place, little Miss Magic smiled to herself. Next, she met little Miss Splendid. What a stupid hat, she said. Go and put on something more sensible. Miss Magic uttered the magic word again, and I'm sure you can guess what happened next. Speak for yourself, said Miss Splendid, bursting into laughter. And for the third time that day, little Miss Bossy was lost for words. Just then Mr. Small came along. Having a nice day? He asked. Mind your own business, Pipsqueak, snapped Miss Bossy. And who are you to call me Pipsqueak? Said Mr. Small and chuckled. Haven't you learnt your lesson yet? Miss Magic came out from behind the tree where she'd been hiding. Oh, it's you, squeaked Miss Bossy. Turn me back to my proper size. You have to say the magic word, replied Miss Magic. Oh, abracadabra, squeaked Miss Bossy. No, that's not the magic word I was thinking of. I'm sure you know what the magic word is, but it took Miss Bossy a bit longer to think of it. Please, she said eventually. And did she learn her lesson? Well, she learnt one lesson. Little Miss Bossy is still just as bossy as ever, but at least she now says please. Go to sleep, please. The end. Thanks for listening. See you all again soon. Bye for now.